routine, and I'm starting out here in the front room with my little family of bikes because I'm going to talk about each bike tomorrow and how I have each bike set up for deliveries because I've seen a lot more people in Tallahassee with electric bikes or regular bikes, and they seem like, partially prepared for doing deliveries, and I want to give them some tips because I'd like to see more people. I don't think we should be thinking in terms of competition. There's a few guys on scooters and electric bikes, and one lady I've seen, and we honk and we wave and ring our little bells at each other, and it's all very friendly. People in vehicles who are doing DoorDash have been aggressive towards me on bikes, but people on bikes have been pretty cool. So I've got a big gray electric bike here. Most of these bikes are Giant brand. These 3 electric bikes are all Giant brand, and I've got a food delivery box on each one. And just to go over some things that I'll get into detail tomorrow, you need a headset. You need to be able to talk hands-free and do talk to text, so you're not, typing on your phone. You need to have a mount for your phone on the bike, right? And each of my bikes has a phone mount. You need to have a bike lock, maybe different kinds of locks for different kinds of situations. I have all of these locked up together right now. And I also have a little regular bicycle here that I pumped up the tires today, and I cleaned up all my bikes. So my point's that we have a box for each bike in case one gets a bunch of soda in it and it needs to be cleaned. I have a backpack that I keep a bike lock in, and I keep a bag inside that backpack for the bike lock because the bike lock will wear out your bag, right? Then you'll have a hole in it wherever the bike lock is sitting. When I'm out in the daytime, I wear these glasses because they're transition lenses. When I'm out at night, I wear these because they're big and I have a wider range of vision. They have narrow frames so I can see when there's cars coming up on either side of me on the road at night. And I don't have to turn as far, and I can see the headlights without turning all the way around on the bike. So my point is that tomorrow I'm going to go into detail about all the gear I use on each electric bike and what kind of electric bikes I use and why when I'm doing deliveries, and how I've been able to make a living paying all the bills doing deliveries full time on a small fleet of 3 electric bikes. Plus I have one regular bicycle, a little mountain bike, in case for some crazy reason all 3 of my electric bikes go down. If there's a solar flare, an EMP attack, and electronics just aren't working, I have a regular manual bicycle. Because those other 3 bikes, the electric bikes are super heavy when the motor's not on or if they're not charged. So it would be miserable when the battery dies. So I'm going to put on some music and clean up the room here. I sweep and mop before and after every practice because I sweat in here. And when I go out, I lock the cats in here with all of their stuff, which I've already cleaned out because I have limited space. So if you have limited space, I recommend you dedicate a room to doing meditation, yoga, and martial arts every day, and try for 6-7 days a week, because that way you'll actually get more days in than if you're just trying to do every other day or whatever. So I try to do 7 days a week, and I usually end up doing like 6 days a week. But I do something every day, whether I'm out delivering food on the bikes, or if I take a break from that, like today, I rested and cleaned my small fleet of electric bikes. I've got 3 plus the regular bike. I cleaned out the food boxes, or my partner cleaned out the food boxes for me. But I was resting from pedaling the bikes all day, so I'm about to do my daily routine. And I try to do the daily routine and work every day. Because if I'm disciplined and I do a few hours of each every day, then I don't need to do long, grueling days, and I feel well rested. So I was just talking about how tomorrow I'm going to go in detail on all my gear for the electric bikes to give advice to people who are doing bike deliveries or just getting started or who want to do that. I will show you all my stuff for doing full-time deliveries on electric bikes, how you can make a living doing that, because some of the people I see in town don't have the right equipment, and they might not know about some things like there's problem customers and there's problem stores, and you can't really avoid them. So there are ways to deal with them, like wearing a body camera and publicly shaming them on YouTube when they do something ridiculous or unprofessional at the restaurant or at the customer's house, and what you can and can't do with your body camera as a delivery driver, right? So I'll shut up about that stuff. I'm going to get into the meditation and the yoga and the martial arts routine now. I'm going to put on some music and clean the room real quick, and then we will get started. And the first thing we're going to do is the meditation on the Buddha, which is led by the Tibetan Buddhist nuns at the Shravasti Abbey in Washington State. And I also like their political views at that monastery, or at that coven, I guess. Or what is it called? An abbey. Coven's witches. So I'm going to play a little talk by them while I clean the room, and then we will begin the daily routine.
So, like most people, I think, in this country, I've been thinking about the election process and also democracy in general. I think the last 4 years have been very challenging for everyone. I also think that unregulated social media has adversely influenced the conversations in this country. And I think that's something that needs to be continually tackled, and social media, they're starting to move on that a little bit and getting it cleaned up a bit, and a lot of work needs to be done there, I think. But of course, this is samsara, so it's helpful to keep the vast view. But we do have an opportunity to recalibrate with the change in leadership, irregardless of who we voted for. The very first line in the Constitution starts with "we the people." When these words were written, the idea that a country could be governed by its citizens seemed revolutionary, impossible. But for 244 years, the United States has done just that, the impossible. Democracy is not about me. It's not about you. It's not about a specific group. It's not about a specific party or ideology. It's about us, all of us, we the people. On January 9th, 1790, George Washington said, "The establishment of our new government seemed to be the last great experiment for promoting human happiness." I've been thinking a lot about what that quote means. It seems to me democracy is the last great experiment for promoting human happiness because, if followed as intended, it is in alignment with reality. It reflects the interdependence of all. It is designed to allow all to have a voice. When we allow all voices to be heard using the framework of respect, honesty, compassion, empathy, and inclusion, then great things can happen. And we've seen that in our history over and over again. His Holiness writes in How to See Yourself as You Really Are, "The theory of dependent arising can be applied everywhere. One benefit of applying this theory is that viewing a situation this way gives you a more holistic picture, since whatever the situation is, good or bad, it depends on causes and conditions. An event is not under its own power, but depends on many present causes and conditions, as well as many past causes and conditions. Otherwise, it could not come into being. When you think from this viewpoint, you can see much more of the whole picture. And from this viewpoint, you can see much more, and from this viewpoint, you can see a wider perspective. You can see the reality of the situation, its interdependence. With the help of this relational outlook, the action that you take will be realistic. In international politics, for example, without such an outlook, a leader might see a problem as created by a single person, who then becomes an easy target. But that is not realistic. The problem is much wider. Violence produces a chain reaction. Without a broader perspective, even if the motivation is sincere, any attempt to handle the situation becomes unrealistic. The actions taken will not be well-founded because of the lack of a holistic picture, of understanding the web of causes and conditions involved. Similarly, in economics, if you just go after profit, you end up with corruption. Look at the increasing corruption in many countries. By considering all commercial actions to be morally neutral, we turn a blind eye to exploitation. Failure to look at the whole picture means realism is lost. The attitude that money alone is sufficient leads to unforeseen consequences. Money is certainly necessary, for instance. If you thought that religious retreat and meditation alone was sufficient, you would not have anything to eat. Many factors have to be considered. With awareness of the fuller picture, your outlook becomes reasonable and your actions become practical. And in this way, favorable results can be achieved. We the people, all having a say in this government, keeps our awareness of the fuller picture, taking into consideration all people, not just certain groups, not just certain ideologies. This reflects the makeup of our country, a variety of many different people, the reality of the makeup of our country. We know that aligning ourselves with reality sets the stage for favorable results, which in turn brings the circumstances for more care and compassion for all citizens of this country. Now, it's true this country has very complex problems. It seems at times they are unsurmountable. But here's the thing. The notion that all Americans are the holder of the power in this country brings about results that are very powerful because it includes all of us. So now it's time for us to come together and repair and begin the dialogue to address the problems in this country. There are those in this country who try to distract us from the real threats we face, including hatred, bigotry, and intolerance. If we listen to those messages and become scared or suspicious of anyone who looks, speaks, prays differently than we do, when we are scared of other sentient beings, this is when those who are intolerant, those who are divisive, those who are bigoted, take power. This erodes our fundamental values laid down in our Constitution. We the people means you, means me. That means those who look, speak, pray differently than we do. That means we can agree to disagree with respect and compassion. We have the opportunity to heal this country by actions starting now. We the people.
Okay, so we're gonna do the meditation on the Buddha now. I recommend you have like 3 pillows for your rear and 1 for your legs, and a towel or a blanket to put under your knees.
We do the practices with this aspiration to be of benefit to beings, not to harm them, to benefit them. And in our understanding, the best benefit is to actually, for beings to be liberated from cyclic existence. And we aim to become Buddhas in order to help beings to be free in this way. So generate those thoughts in your own way. So Venerable Chödrön has laid out this sadhana for us, helping us to generate these various mind states. And she starts by having us think about all of our potential, all the kind of positive qualities that we can develop. Infinite love, compassion, wisdom, skillful means. So imagine what it would feel like to be those qualities. Just let yourself be love, be wisdom. Try to feel the expansiveness and peace in your heart. The wisdom that it takes to have this kind heart. To be unencumbered in any way. Vast and expansive. Take in everything that's happening in this world, reaching out to every being, human and otherwise, to benefit each one. So now imagine that these qualities of love, compassion, wisdom, skillful means appear in front of you in the form of Shakyamuni Buddha. So imagine this Buddha in front of you, in the space in front of you made of radiant, transparent light. He's sitting on a throne, above which is an open lotus flower and cushions of the sun and moon discs. This entire visualization is made of radiant, transparent light. But you're imagining a living being with a light body. So you feel yourself in the presence of the Buddha. The Buddha's body is golden in color. He wears the robes of a monastic. His right hand, with the palm down, rests on his right knee. In the earth-touching mudra. And his left hand is in his lap holding a bowl of nectar. And this nectar is the medicine to cure our afflictions and all of our hindrances. And the Buddha's face is very beautiful. You can look at the Buddha's eyes. He's smiling, his eyes are smiling. He's looking at you with total acceptance. And as he looks at you, he's also encompassing all sentient beings. The Buddha's eyes are very peaceful, long and narrow. His lips are red and his earlobes are long. Imagine rays of light radiating from every pore of the Buddha's body. This golden light going out to all the parts of the universe, touching beings, carrying miniature Buddhas to help beings. And as they complete their work, they dissolve back into the Buddha. The Buddha is surrounded by the entire lineage of spiritual teachers, all the meditational deities, innumerable other Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Arhats, Dakas, Dakinis, Dharma protectors. And at the side, near each spiritual mentor, is an elegant table, and on it are Dharma books. The sounds of the Dharma fill the air. And they're all so happy that we're here doing this together. Imagine their minds just blissful and peaceful, gazing at all sentient beings. So you imagine that actually you are surrounded by all sentient beings in human form. Your mother of this life is on your left. Your father of this life is on your right. Any people you have difficulty with, you imagine in front of you, facing the Buddha, keeping them there for protection. Family and friends are nearby. Countless strangers fill the space around you. And all of us are looking to the Buddha for guidance. So first we need to cultivate a sense of refuge. So we think of all the dangers of cyclic existence. Just think about how things are not secure. We run into dissatisfaction often, dukkha often. And people, all the beings around us, all the sentient beings around us, are also in the same boat, floundering in cyclic existence. And many of them have not met any kind of teachings that will help them out of this quagmire. So we generate compassion. And now think of the wonderful qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and generate this sense of confidence in them, in their ability to guide you out of all of these recurring problems. To take refuge, we need the causes, this kind of concern, this kind of alarm, fear type, and also this confidence and faith, and the compassion. So it is possible, on the basis of your present life and mind, to free yourself from all of these undesirable experiences. So resolve to explore that possibility to the fullest. Feel great trust and confidence in the three jewels, and open your heart to rely upon them to guide you and others from all of these difficulties of cyclic existence, and bring us to the peace, liberation, and full awakening. So as we do these refuge verses, starting here, now we're on the top of page 21, we'll be taking refuge in the Buddha, and we imagine actually leading all of the sentient beings around us and going for refuge. And we visualize white, radiant light flowing from all of the Buddhas, the spiritual mentors, the Bodhisattvas, all of these holy beings flowing into us and all the beings around us. And this light completely purifies all of our destructive karmic imprints and afflictions. And it also brings all the realizations of the path. So put your hands in prayer position. Namo Guru Vya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya. Namo Sangaya. Namo Guru Vya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya. Namo Sangaya. Namo Guru Vya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya. Namo Sangaya. Namo Guru Vya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya. Namo Sangaya. Namo Guru Vya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya. Namo Sangaya. Namo Guru Vya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya. Namo Sangaya. Namo Guru Vya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya. Namo Sangaya. So feel that you've come under the protection of the three jewels. And now we turn our thoughts to others and think about how much we depend on other beings for everything that we have, everything we know, everything we use, everything we enjoy. Our food, clothing, resources of every kind. These come due to the efforts of others. Our knowledge, talents, good qualities, these too are developed due to the kindness of others. And our ability to practice the Dharma certainly depends on others who brought the teachings to us over the millennia by generating realizations in their mind and teaching. So this is a very great kindness, all of these things we want to bring to mind. Our innermost wish is to be free from suffering. And this is the case for everyone else as well. we want to be happy, and all beings want to be happy. And like us, they encounter many difficulties, problems, sufferings. And usually, actually, their difficulties are more so than our own. Not always, but often. And when we examine our capacity to help beings, we find that we're actually quite limited. And we know from our practice that if we can reduce our anger, our attachment, our ignorance, our various faults, and if we can increase all of our good qualities, we're really going to be in a position to benefit beings. Imagine if we had just this generous heart that gives so easily, takes delight in giving, the kind of ethics that doesn't harm, has that just ingrained fortitude, loving kindness, compassion, wisdom. We'll be in excellent position to help beings by having our good qualities developed. And if we develop them fully, like a Buddha does, then we'll be able to be of the greatest benefit to beings. So we generate this altruistic intention in order to be able to benefit beings most effectively. So as we take refuge and generate bodhicitta, imagine that light is flowing into you from all of these Buddhas and holy beings, and it's flowing into you and all the sentient beings around you. So we're on the top of page 22. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddhas, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit I create by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices, may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit I create by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices, may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit I create by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices, may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. So imagine the Buddha is so pleased with your altruistic intention, and a replica emerges from the Buddha, comes to the crown of your head, melts into golden light, and flows into you. Feel that you and the Buddha have become inseparable. Feel very close to the Buddha and allow your mind to be transformed and inspired. Let go of all conceptions you have about yourself. Let go of any self-denigrating thoughts. Let go of the concept of inherent existence and meditate on emptiness. At your heart appears a small Buddha made of light. He radiates the light of wisdom and compassion in all directions throughout the entire universe. And this light transforms all sentient beings into Buddhas and all environments into pure lands, which are places where all the circumstances are conducive to practicing the Dharma. and generating realizations. So imagine this. You've transformed all sentient beings into Buddhas and all environments into Pure Lands in your imagination. But why hasn't this become a reality? We sentient beings have bias, prejudice, we lack love, compassion, and joy. So now we want to wish ourselves and others to have all of these qualities. So we contemplate the four immeasurables. We do this to reinforce our own felt experience of love, compassion, joy, and equanimity for everyone, friends, strangers, enemies, relatives, people you don't like, people you don't trust, anyone, everyone. So as we say these four immeasurables, you want to listen to yourself say the words and contemplate as you recite. We'll pause between each of the four. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free of suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings not be separated from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment, and anger. So, in order to achieve what we've just been aspiring towards, we need to purify our negativities, and we need a lot of merit. We need to abandon things and adopt things. So when we do this 7-limb prayer, this encompasses all this abandoning and adopting of things. So we'll pause after each line. And you want to have your hands in the prayer position for this. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. So imagine yourself and all the beings, the sentient beings around you, making prostrations to all the holy beings in front of you in the field of merit, repeatedly prostrating. And present clouds of every type of offering, actual and mentally transformed. So imagine offering everything beautiful to the Buddha and all the holy beings. You can fill the sky with offerings, make it very lovely and beautiful. You can think of flowers and fields and just everything that you love. Offer it to all the holy beings. You can do this repeatedly. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginning this time. So now we do like a glance meditation of the 4 opponent powers. So for this, bring to mind something that you wish to purify, some fault or mistake. Bring it clearly to mind and generate regret for that. And then the other opponent powers are taking refuge in generating bodhicitta, which we're doing in the practice. The practice itself will be the remedial action, but make a determination not to do this action again. rejoice in the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. So think of common sentient beings like ourselves, the holy beings, and delight and take, rejoice in all of the virtue created by any kind of being. Let go of any jealousy, envy, and just rejoice in the goodness in the world. Use your own life experience. Think of things, people that you want to rejoice. And then the next verse. Please remain until cyclic existence ends. So now we offer a double dorje. This symbolizes long life. And we offer this to the holy beings. We do this requesting them to live long, to always be a part of our life. And you can do this multiple times in your imagination. And then the next verse. And turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. So again, make this offering. You're offering with both hands this beautiful 1,000-spoke Dharma wheel, golden in color. Offering this to the teachers and the Buddhas to guide you and to continue to teach the Dharma. And then the seventh limb. I dedicate all the virtues of myself and others to the Great Awakening. So now we steer these limbs toward full awakening for ourselves and all beings. And now we'll offer the mandala. Here we imagine everything beautiful in the universe, offering it to all the holy beings with the wish that they will continue to teach and guide us and that we can generate realizations in our mind. This ground anointed with perfume, flowers strewn Mount Meru, for land, sun, and moon, imagined as a Buddha land and offered to you. May all beings enjoy this pure land. The objects of attachment, aversion, and ignorance, friends, enemies, and strangers, my body, wealth, and enjoyments, I offer these without any sense of loss. Please accept them with pleasure and inspire me and others to be free from the three poisonous attitudes. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. So imagine all the holy beings are just delighted and they receive your offerings. And the offerings melt into light and dissolve into them. And these all absorb into the Buddha's heart. And then immediately he radiates light back to you, filling your body and mind. This light inspires you to accomplish the path to full awakening. So in order to progress along the path, we need to develop realizations. And in order to do this, we need the inspiration of the lineage of spiritual mentors, especially your principal teacher or your root guru, who is the one who has touched your heart deeply. If you don't have a specific teacher, just think about Shakyamuni Buddha, or maybe you have a connection in your mind with His holiness. And we make this request on page 25. Glorious and precious root guru, sit upon the lotus and moon seat on my crown, guiding me with your great kindness. Bestow upon me the attainments of your body, speech, and mind. And so then at this point, you imagine that a replica of your teacher in the aspect of the Buddha emerges from the Buddha in front of you. And it comes to sit on a lotus and moon disk on the crown of your head, facing the same direction as you. So then this Buddha on the crown of your head is going to act as an advocate for you to request inspiration from the entire field of merit as we continue the request. And we're doing the long one on page 26. Buddha, unequal teacher and guide, venerable protector Maitreya, successor, superior Sangha prophesied by Buddha, to you three Buddhas and Bodhisattvas I make request. Buddha, head of the Shakya clan, the foremost guide, peerless in expounding emptiness, Manjushri, embodiment of the Buddha's complete wisdom, exalted Nagarjuna, best of the superiors who sees the profound meaning, to you three crowning jewels of clear exposition I make request. Atisha, upholder of this great vehicle, who sees the profundity of dependent arising, Drome Rinpoche, elucidator of this good path, to these two ornaments of the world I make request. Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of oblivious compassion, Manjushri, masteress, flawless wisdom, Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the snowy land sages, Losangdrapa, I make request at your feet. Holder of the white lotus, embodiment of all the conqueror's compassion, guide benefiting migrating beings in the land of snow mountains and beyond. Sole deity and refuge, Tenzin Gyatso, at your feet I make request. The eyes through whom the vast scriptures are seen, supreme doors for the fortunate who would cross over to spiritual freedom, illuminators whose wise means vibrate with compassion, to the entire line of spiritual mentors I make request. So imagine all of the figures in the field of merit melting into light and dissolving into you. Into the central figure of the Buddha in front of you. All the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, the Arhats, Dakas, Dakinis, Dharma protectors, all of these beings melt into light and dissolve into the central figure of Shakyamuni Buddha. And now Shakyamuni Buddha embodies the three jewels. And this Buddha absorbs into the Buddha on the crown of your head. And then as we recite the Buddha's mantra, try to let your mind be very open and receptive. Imagine this white light flowing into you from the Buddha on the crown of your head. It purifies all your negativities, all your obscurations, and it generates within you the realizations of the stages of the path. So we'll recite the Buddha's mantra together. Tayata Om Mune Mune Maha Mune Soha. 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 Now, re-establish the visualization of Shakyamuni Buddha above the crown of your head, made of golden, transparent, radiant light, a living being. And this Buddha melts into light and dissolves into you. Your body, speech, and mind become inseparable from those of the Buddha. And then we'll make the dedication prayers starting on the page that we're on in the sadhana, which is 27. Due to this merit, may we soon attain the awakened state of Guru Buddha, that we may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious Bodhi mind not yet born arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore.
So this has been the meditation on the Buddha,
Your principal teacher.
led by the Buddhist nuns at the Shravasti Abbey in Washington State. And I like their practice because I like their politics. Next we're going to do the short version of the Ashtanga Yoga Primary Series. And then we're going to do a high intensity interval training workout. And the format of that workout is going to be focused on strength. So we're going to do exercises that are more difficult, but you're welcome to do an easier version. Like I'm going to do one hand push-ups and one leg squats, handstand push-ups and stuff like that. But if you want to just do regular push-ups or squats, that's fine. And then when I start to get burned out from that, I'm going to switch to more technique-based stuff, but we'll go over that later. Right now I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I encourage you to do the same thing. And then we're going to get into the short version of the Ashtanga Yoga primary series. I found a new video for this playlist of yoga music. And I say yoga music, and that's like, a very liberal, loosely used term. This is mostly philosophy talks put to beats. And there's a new one that the main artist I use released today. And he's got some Terrence McKenna, so we're going to play that.
It's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is. And at that point, novelty theory can come out of the woods, because eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on? It's just too nuts. It's not enough to say it's nuts. You have to explain why it's so nuts. So between now and 2012, the next 14 years, I look for the invention of artificial life, the cloning of human beings, possible contact with extraterrestrials, possible human immortality, and at the same time, appalling acts of brutality, genocide, race baiting, homophobia, famines, starvation, because these systems which are in place to keep the world sane are utterly inadequate to the forces that have been unleashed. Weirder, 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 weirder. It's just going to get weirder, 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 weirder. What the hell is going on? Weirder, 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 weirder. And finally, it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is. The collapse of the socialist world and the rise of the internet. These are changes so immense, nobody could imagine them ever happening. And now that they have happened, nobody even bothers to mention what a big deal it is. The fact that there is no such thing as the Soviet Union, people never talk about it, but when I was a kid, the notion that that would ever change was beyond conceiving. The good news is that as primates, we're incredibly adaptable to change. Put us in a desert, we survive. Put us in the jungle, we survive. Under Hitler, we survive. Under Nixon, we survive. We can put up with about anything that's a good thing because we're going to be tested too. It's just going to get weirder, 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 weirder. It's just going to get weirder, 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 weirder. What the hell is going on? Weirder, 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 weirder. And finally, it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is. How weird it is. How weird it is. How weird it is. And this is why the right wing is so alarmed, because what they see going on is the breakdown of all tradition, all order, all sanction, norms of behavior. And they're quite right that it's happening, but they're quite wrong to conclude that it should be resisted or is somehow evil. The mushroom said to me once, it said, this is what it's like when a species prepares to depart for the stars. This is what it's like when a species prepares to depart for the stars. You don't depart for the stars under calm and orderly conditions. It's a fire in a madhouse. And that's when we have the fire in a madhouse at the end of time. This is what it's like when a species prepares to move on to the next dimension, to the next dimension, the next dimension, the next dimension.
So I'm going to open the yoga with the Ashtanga primary mantra, the opening mantra, there will be a closing mantra. The opening mantra basically means thank you to the teachers of the past, present, and future who bring this practice to us from the meditators in the jungle, because the practice helps ease the suffering of existence. And I'll explain the closing mantra when I get to it. And then after I begin, put the music back on. So we're about to do the short version of the Ashtanga Yoga primary series. And then we're gonna do a high intensity interval training martial arts workout with just body weight exercises. Om Vande Gurunam Charanaravinda Sandarsheta Svadma Sukhava Bodhe Nirshese Jangalikaya Mane Samsara Hala Hala Mohashantiye Avahu Purushakaram Shankasakrasi Dharinam Sahasra Shirasam Shwetam Pranamami Patanjalim Om. We'll begin.
I started to feel that I may have discovered the user interface for reality.
Akira.
The reason that I thought that is that my life was working out so well that I couldn't explain it in any ordinary way. I tried to become a cartoonist with no experience in cartooning, without any experience. I was the hottest cartoonist in the country. At about the same time, I had written my first book. It was a #1 New York Times runaway bestseller, with no experience at writing books. And there were a number of things that I was touching and doing, and it seemed as if I could manipulate reality. But here's the thing. Was I manipulating reality to get these ridiculous results? Or was I simply good at my job? How can I tell? How would I know if I were manipulating reality? Because that's sort of what it felt like, but that didn't seem right? Or was I just good at my job, and I didn't realize how good I was, so I performed better than I expected? Maybe. Could be. It's possible. Maybe. It's possible. And it seemed as if I could manipulate reality. But I wanted to test it. Maybe. Could be. It's possible. And so in 1997, I did a bold experiment. And the experiment was this. I very publicly and annoyingly made a prediction. And I chose an area in which I had no expertise. Next, I submit freedom of real education. Of learning how to be one with justice. You get to consciously decide what has meaning and what doesn't. What has meaning and what doesn't. What has meaning? 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 You get to decide what to worship. Because here's something else that's weird but true. In the day-to-day trenches of adult life, there is actually no such thing as atheism. There is no such thing as not worshiping. Every
only choice we get is what to worship. And the compelling reason for maybe choosing some sort of God or spiritual type thing to worship, be it JC or Allah, be it Yahweh or the wicked mother goddess, or the Four Noble Truths or some inviolable set of ethical principles, is that pretty much anything else you worship will eat you alive. If you worship money and things, but they are where you have real meaning in life, then you will never have enough. Never feel you have enough. It's the truth. Worship your own body and beauty and sexual allure, and you will always feel ugly. And when time and age start showing, you will die a million deaths before they finally point. On one level, we all know this stuff already. It's been codified as myths, proverbs, cliches, epigrams, parables, the skeleton of every great story. What has meaning and what doesn't. What has meaning and what doesn't. Decide what has meaning. 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 The whole trick is keeping the truth up front in daily consciousness. Worship power, you will end up feeling weak and afraid. And you will lose ever more power over others to numb you to your own fear. Worship your intellect, being seen as smart, you will end up feeling stupid, a fraud, always on the verge of being found out. Look, the insidious thing about these forms of worship is not that they're evil or sinful. It is that they are unconscious. They are default settings. They're the kind of worship you just gradually slip into. Day after day, getting more and more selective about what you see and how you measure value without ever being fully aware that that's what you're doing. And the so-called real world will not discourage you from operating on your default settings. Because the so-called real world of men and money and power comes merrily along on the fuel of fear and anger and frustration and craving and the worship itself. Our own present culture has harnessed these forces in ways that have yielded extraordinary wealth and comfort and personal freedom. The freedom all to be lords of our own tiny skull-sized kingdoms, alone at the center of all creation. This kind of freedom has much to recommend it. But of course there are all different kinds of freedom, and the kind that is most precious you will not hear much talked about much in the great outside world of wanting and achieving and displaying. The really important kind of freedom involves attention and awareness and discipline, and being able truly to care about other people and to sacrifice for them over and over in myriad, petty little unsexy ways every day. That is real freedom. That is being educated and understanding how to think. The alternative is unconsciousness, the default setting, the rat race, the constant gnawing sense of having had and lost some infinite thing. I know that this stuff probably doesn't sound fun and breezy or grandly inspirational the way a commencement speech is supposed to sound. What it is, as far as I can see, is the capital T truth with a whole lot of rhetorical niceties stripped away. You are, of course, free to think of it whatever you wish. But please don't just dismiss it as some finger-wagging Dr. Laura sermon. None of this stuff is really about morality.
or religion, or dogma, or big fancy question of life after death. The capital T truth is about life before death. It is about the real value of a real education, which has almost nothing to do with knowledge and everything to do with simple awareness. Awareness of what is so real and essential, so hidden in plain sight all around us all the time, that we have to keep reminding ourselves over and over, this is water. 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 It's not a natural we ought to do this. To stay conscious and alive in the adult world, day in and day out. Once we get another grand cliche or nothing true, your education really is the shop of a lifetime. And it commences now. What has meaning and what doesn't? What has meaning and what doesn't? You can constantly decide what has meaning, 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 what has meaning. I wish you life was a book. 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 There are no get-rich-quick schemes. That's just someone else getting rich off you. There are no get-rich-quick schemes. That's just someone else getting rich off you. This goes back to the world being an efficient place. If there's an easy way to get rich, it's already been exploited. There are a lot of people who will sell you ideas and schemes on how to make money, but they're just always selling you some $79.95 course or some audiobook or some seminar, which is fine. Everyone needs to eat. People need to make a living. They might actually have really good tips, but if they're giving you actionable, high-quality advice that acknowledges that it's a difficult journey and will take a lot of time, then I think that's realistic. But if they're selling you some get-rich-quick scheme, whether it's crypto or whether it's an online business or seminar, they just make money off you. That's their get-rich-quick scheme. It's not going to necessarily work for you. There are no get-rich-quick schemes. That's just someone else getting rich off you. There are no get-rich-quick schemes. That's just someone else getting rich off you. That's just someone else getting rich off you. There are no get-rich-quick schemes. That's just someone else getting rich off you. They read stuff by people who are already very wealthy, and they've clearly made their wealth in other fields, not by selling the how to get rich line. They have credibility. You just trust them, and they're not trying to make money off of you. They are obviously trying to win some status, some ego, right? You always have to have a motivation for doing something, but at least that is a clear reason why they're probably not blind. They're probably not fooling you. They're not snowing you. At some level, every founder has to lie to every employee of the companies they have, where they have to convince them that it's better for you to work for me than it is for you
by telling people how to be rich. It's suspect. You see our ads in the back of Hustler and Popular Mechanics, and our ads actually say we can get rich quick. Get rich quick. That's everyday people. Everyone wants to get rich quickly.
Everyone wants to get rich quick.
Sounds like a scheme.
Think of camouflage. The chameleon who changes its color. Think of the butterfly pretending it has eyes. Think of the flower. Same with the bee. Like my honey. Bee says, wow. But then that means that the bee has to be. It has to go on living and all the trouble it takes to go around collecting honey and raising other bees and organizing itself and doing that dance which tells the other bees where there's more honey. All that stuff to do. The flower was deceptive. Life is a drama, and a drama is a deception. A big act. When you peel an onion and you don't really understand the nature of an onion, you might look for the pit in the center, like any ordinary fruit has. But the onion doesn't have a center. It's all skins. So when you get right down, there's nothing but a bunch of skins. You say, well, that was disappointing. But at last you have to understand that the skins are the part that you eat. But I'd rather say where you see you find when you explore yourself, your motivation. You go through and through and you try to find out that thing which really is genuine. That thing which really is genuine. But I'd rather say where you see you find when you explore yourself, your motivation. You go through and through and you try to find out that thing which really is genuine. That thing which really is genuine. That's why in Zen, discipline. They give you koans, which require a perfectly genuine act. An act of total and absolute sincerity. And people knock themselves out trying to do this thing. But they always know that the master's going to catch them. Because he reads their thought. You know that story of von Kleist about the man who had a fight with a bear, and the bear could read his thoughts? So that the only way of hitting the bear was to do so not on purpose. Because the bear would know in advance. So it's the same working with the Zen master. You have to do the genuine act, not on purpose. But since you're put in a situation where it's rather formal, and you're supposed to do it on purpose, you're stuck, see? So you explore the onion, and you go in, and then you find, well, it's all a deception. But I'd rather say where you see you find when you explore yourself and your motivation. You go through and through and you try to find out that thing which really is genuine. That thing which really is genuine. But I'd rather say where you see you find when you explore yourself and your motivation. You go through and through and you try to find out that thing which really is genuine. That thing which really is genuine. is not conscious of itself as virtue, and therefore really is virtue. No, a virtue is so self-conscious that it's not virtue. That it's not virtue. No, a virtue is so self-conscious that it's not virtue. That it's not virtue. such stuff as dreams are made of. We are such stuff as dreams are made of. We are such stuff as dreams are made of. And our little life is largely a and said so well, it doesn't seem so bad after all, does it? You see, there's always in the poetry of evanescence a kind of funny nostalgia. Moralists will say, those lovely lips which you so delight to kiss today will in a few years' run disclose the grinning teeth of the skull. So what? The skull says, lying in the grass, chattering finch and waterfly are not merrier than I. Here among the flowers I lie, laughing everlastingly. No, I may not tell the best. Surely, friends, I could have guessed. Death was but the good king's jest. It was hid so carefully.
So this has been the Ashtanga Yoga primary series, the short version. And next we're going to get into the martial arts workout. So I'm going to turn on some more intense music, changing gears. Yes. So this is workout music. And we're going to do a workout in the format of a high intensity interval training. So there will be sets of 4 exercises, 1 full body exercise, and then legs, then upper body, then core, and 30 to 60 seconds for each exercise, alternating from body weight exercise to a martial arts exercise throughout the 30-minute workout. So we'll start with this song.
Discipline ever fail you? No. Actually, discipline does not fail me. I fail discipline. That's what happens on days where I veer off the path and onto the slippery slope of weakness. It is discipline's fault. It's my fault. I'm the one that's being weak. It's my fault. I'm the one that's not holding the line. I'm the one that is deciding to take the short-term gratification instead of the long-term domination. And I made that error when I let discipline down. There's only one thing to do, and that's get back on the path. Get back on it. Get back on the path. Get back on it. Get back on the path. Get back on it. Step it up and go harder and push for it. Get back on the path. Get back on it. When laziness creeps in, it's not discipline that opened the door. It's me. It's me rationalizing and explaining and justifying that laziness. When I decide to take the easy path instead of the righteous path of discipline, that is my decision. That's all of it. That's all of it. It's me deciding to cave to my weaknesses and become a slave to them. And when I made that error, when I let discipline down, there's only one thing to do. Get back on it. Get back on the path. Get back on it. Get back on the path. Get back on it. Step it up and go harder and push for it. Get back on the path. Get back on it. Transgressions. Cleanse yourself in the fire and the suffering of the discipline and get back on the path. The hard, unrelenting path of discipline. That path that leads to freedom.
Okay, so we'll keep up with the music here in a second and start the workout shortly. Just a minute, I'm gonna drink some more pre-workout and I'm gonna take some notes about the exercises I'm trying to do. So I'm writing FBB in the full body cardio section, and that's for full body burpee, right? Squat down, do squat, jump into a push-up position, do a push-up, jump the feet back forward, lay down, do a sit-up, jump the feet back, another push-up, jump the feet forward, stand up, squat, right? Full body burpee. Then we're gonna do one leg squat. And then one arm push-up. For the leg and upper body. For the core, we're gonna do leg raises, because it's the hardest thing that I can think of as a body weight exercise for the core. And then for the next round, we'll still do the full body burpee, and we're gonna do handstand push-ups also. So I'm writing out the format for the exercises we're gonna do, right? And there's gonna be more strength training exercises. There's still calisthenics, it's still body weight, but more difficult, more oriented towards body weight strength training. And we're gonna do donkey kicks for the core. Because I know that that one's really tough for me. And that's related to the hip throw exercise we're trying to cultivate here. So I'm going to put the hip throw round on paper on here. We'll do the hip throw squat. For the upper body, for the hip throw round, let's see, I had something written down over here. I've been doing like pummeling or arm drag, but that's not really gonna work for the strength training block I'm trying to build here. Some other strength training exercises I've got are push-up sit out, push-up knee on belly, push-up to a knee cut pass. So if I refer to my older notes, I can find some kind of upper body strength training exercise that's also related to the hip throw. So we're gonna do a push-up to the sit-out for the hip throw exercise, because it's nice when you hip throw somebody, land in side control, and you can sit out right into a scarf hold position from a hip throw. So that'll be on here twice, and that's okay. We'll just do it a few times. And we're about to begin here on the martial arts workout routine. I'm just writing down some notes for myself so that when I'm tired I can look at the paper and just be like, okay, that's the focus, this is the next exercise, and then jump into it right away. So I'm also going to do both leg squats. Because that's actually a pretty strong exercise. put on here because we need to review it. Kickboxing, kicks and boxing. And head movement. So I'm going to add some more exercises on here just for the sake of having one page to reference everything. Body coordination number 1. Body coordination number 2. These are just kickboxing combos. Lunge and uppercut. Lunge and hook. And then for the core, we're going to do some high knees. So we've got high knees, we've got head movement for the core. Probably throw some regular old sit-ups in there. And we're going to need to do a round or two of freestyle so that we can put everything together. So, I've got a page here for the techniques I'm focused on. You know, these are the main core techniques. These are exercises related to them, or things I'm reviewing, and then a few more exercises down here. And these are some of the other exercises to focus on. I'm probably going to rewrite this because it's a little bit messy. It's all over the place. But a lot of the same exercises are on this page, plus it has the boxing combinations I'm working on if you want to take a screenshot of that. And you know, I respect you and admire you if you're still on here watching on Friday night, practicing over the weekend instead of out partying, destroying your health. And so on that note, I was just telling my partner about an old friend of mine who passed away recently. And I live in Tallahassee. This is a college town, university town. There's a Florida State University. There's the Florida Agricultural Mechanical University. There's the Tallahassee State College, which used to be the community college. And my friend who has been living here that I've known for about 10 years, when I came here was a Florida State graduate or was about to graduate. And he was always rubbing it in my face because I'm a combat veteran. I have not graduated from college. I've got a GED, and he would always be teasing me about how smart he is, how much smarter he is than me. But he was destroying his health, taking stimulants all the time to be able to focus to study in school, drinking, taking pills all the time. And I spend my days doing meditation, yoga, martial arts, sometimes competing, sometimes not. But I've always been, you know, vegetarian. Lately I've become vegan. And this guy would be destroying his health, bragging to me about how much smarter he is. Recently he died, and he spent his entire life staring at screens, pushing buttons. He got a computer science degree. I don't have a degree, but I'm still alive, right? Because I take good care of myself. So I encourage you to spend less time partying, spend more time training, meditating, practicing yoga, doing martial arts, you know, compete until you get some gold medals. Don't just compete one time and get bumped out of the bracket and never come back. You compete until you get bronze medals. Then you compete until you get silver medals. And then you keep going back until you get a gold medal. And then you enter a new division or a new organization, and you do it over and over again until you have gold medals from various organizations. And that's how you become a champion. You don't just train a bunch and then show up and expect to beat everybody. That's not real life. All those people who you hear about undefeated champions, they got their ass kicked for years and years by a coach and a world champion in a school. And they went to small organizations and got beat up by local and world champions who showed up until they were able to find an organization where they just happened to be the best person there at the time, right? So, that's really how it is. And you got to be careful you don't end up with a shady coach who will feed you to champions and take your money and take their money behind closed doors, right? So, I'm going to get right to this workout here in just a second. I'm going to check the time and start the timer, put on the more intense workout music, and then we will begin.
We've been talking in the path, and we've been talking about discipline, and we've been talking about living clean. But it is not an easy path that is filled with temptations and pitfalls and hazards and traps. And it's hard to stay on the path. It's hard to stay on the path. And if you fall off, it gets even harder to get back on. But you can do it. You can do it. And if you fall off, it gets even harder to get back on. But you can do it. You can do it. We've been talking in the past. And we've been talking about discipline. And we've been talking about living clean. But it is not an easy path that is filled with temptations and pitfalls and hazards and traps. And it's hard to stay on the path. It's hard to stay on the path. You gotta be honest with yourself. Do not be a slave. Don't be a slave to drugs or emotion or whatever weakness is trying to be your master overpower. Tell the truth. Call out your own weaknesses. Then impose discipline. Impose your will and climb back up onto the path and set yourself free. We've been talking in the past. We've been talking about discipline. And we've been talking about living clean.
So we're going to start in just a minute. It'll be about 11:20. And we'll go from 11:20 to about 11:50, doing the martial arts bodyweight workout here in just a minute. So I invite you to join me. It's not an easy workout. I'm going to do some crazy stuff tonight. Like right off the bat, I'm going to be doing handstand push-ups and one leg squats and stuff. So, but if you stick with it and you try, you'll be able to do it. As soon as this song is over, we're going to start. We're going to start with the full body burpee. And then we're going to do any kind of squat, then any kind of push-up, then any kind of sit-up. I'm going to do one leg squat, handstand push-up, leg raises, because these are harder, right? So today's
First, I want to thank you.
strength
because
focus.
I am a stage 4 cancer.
Okay, we'll begin.
You once said that if you were growing up in this generation that you would have a field day because you would take their souls. What did you mean by that?
The younger generation quits. Not everybody. So I gotta put people get their butt hurt. So not everybody. Most of this generation quits the second they get talked to. It's so easy to be great nowadays. Most people are weak. This is a softened generation. So if you have any mental toughness,
One leg squat.
any ability, if you have any fraction of self-discipline, the ability to not want to do it but still do it. And I hate to run. And what makes me so crazy, people go, well, why do you run if you hate it? What are you talking about? I don't want to take showers and eat either. I hate that too. That's life, man. It wasn't until I changed that mentality that I became
Handstand,
somebody.
any kind of push up.
I hated going to school, so guess what? I was dumb as shit. One was one and two. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. One was one and two. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. On the other side is greatness. One was one and two. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. On the other side is greatness. That's what people are saying. By me running, I am callousing my
Leg
mind.
raises
I'm
for
not
the core.
training for a race. I'm training for life. I'm training for the time when I get that 2 o'clock in the morning call that my mom is dead or something happens tragic in life. I don't fall apart. I'm training my mind and my body and my spirit so it's all one. So I can handle what life is going to throw at me. Because the life I've lived, throws a whole bunch at you. And if you're not physically and mentally prepared for that, you're just going to crumble. One was one and two. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. On the other side is greatness.
Okay. Body coordination. One.
If you can get
Cross,
through
jab, cross.
to doing
Lock,
things that you
kick.
hate to do, on the other side is greatness. On the other side is greatness.
Kicks.
There's so much knowledge out there, so much information, so many ways to get better. And we make so many mistakes. We're the product of our mistakes. And oftentimes the lesson is sitting there
Collapsing.
right in front of our face. It's there to be learned, but we miss it or we don't pay attention to it, or we think we know better until it punches us in the face. And the most important thing to learn is that we have so much to learn. We all do. And we can learn from school and people and from experience and we learn from life. You get one shot at this kid right here. Life. One life. That's all you got. One life. One shot. But you have to process the information. You have to absorb it. You have to accept it.
Head
You
movement.
have to open your mind.
core.
You gotta free your mind so that you can learn and make real progress. And as far as regrets and things I wish I would have done differently, of course, hindsight is
full body burpee.
and again. Why not do it over and over again until you have it perfect? But the fact is, you don't get that chance. You get one shot at this kid right here. Life. One life. That's all you got. One life. One shot of regret. In and of itself, it's worthless. It does nothing for you. In fact,
For the legs,
the only valuable thing
we're
in
gonna
life
do
is the
regular
lessons you
squats.
learned, the
Neck
knowledge
deep,
that
touch the
you gained.
ground.
But walking around filled with regret gets you nothing. So learn and move on. Don't let regret beat you down. Don't be a slave to regret. No. Let it teach you. Let it make you better. Let the fear of regret fuel you to take action today. Now.
One hand push-ups.
One shot at this kid right here. Life. One life. That's all you got. One life. One shot. One shot. One shot at this kid right here. Life. One life. That's all you got. One life. One shot. Take action now to become a better person.
Unassisted sit-ups.
Not filled with regret, but filled with knowledge. Filled with knowledge and strength and power and filled with life.
Body coordination 2. Cross jab, cross. Inside out block, cross, kick. Just about 25 seconds each round. Now, we're gonna lunge and uppercut. Squat and uppercut. Lunge and uppercut. body. We're gonna do pummeling. Right round for the arms. Stomachs.
It matters not how straight the gates are charged with punishments to scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am
Core.
captain of my soul.
We're gonna do high knees.
So I wake up early. I wake up at 4:45. I like to have that psychological win over the enemy.
Full body burpee.
The enemy. When I wake up in the morning and I don't know why, I'm thinking about the enemy and what they're doing. I know I'm not active duty anymore, but it's still in there that there's a guy that's in a cave somewhere, and he's rocking back and forth, and he's got a machine gun in one hand and a grenade in the other hand, and he's waiting for me.
Legs, we're gonna lunge and hook, and then squat and hook.
And we're gonna meet. The enemy. The enemy. When I wake up in the morning and I don't know why, I'm thinking about the enemy. And I wake up in the morning active. I'm thinking to myself, what can I do to be ready for that moment, which
Core.
is coming. Which is coming.
I do have movement again.
Part of the world that I've seen is a very dark place. It's a dark place. That's what war is. War is. War is. War is. The enemy. The enemy. When I wake up in the morning and I don't know why, I'm thinking about the enemy.
Full body burpee.
When your job, which my job was to expand that darkness in many ways. I mean, war is about killing people. And so for me, when I look to someone that's successful, it's someone that brings some light
One leg squats.
darkness. That darkness. The first people that come to my head are Mark Lee, who is one of my guys, first SEAL killed in Iraq. Mike Mansour, one of my guys, second SEAL killed in Iraq.
handstand push-ups. Any kind of push-up.
Finished his college degree, and after his 22nd surgery to repair the damage that was done to his head and face, there were complications and he died as well. But all of those guys, in all that darkness, they did things, they made a sacrifice that was completely selfless. And to do that, and to live and fight and die like a warrior,
For core, we're gonna do kick-ups,
that to me is
donkey
success.
kick or scorpion kick. This is good for
Those
hip
guys
throws.
are my heroes.
This is for the lower back. Okay. Hip throw form for the full body technique
People say
round.
things like, I do this in a kind of self-deprecating way. Well, I've been lucky at this. And you know very well that a lot of life is luck. But then a lot of it is that it's underplayed. You also work hard. I realized some time ago that because
Going backwards.
I have that natural tendency to like underplay something very well. I'm just lucky at that. And somebody said, "Well, you should do that. You do work very hard." And I thought, yes, but saying, well, I've been lucky at that is a nice way to say to other people, oh, I haven't really had to look at
And more realistically,
particularly I. It's a flattering thing to say to somebody else, which ignores wonderful phrase of Grant Ricky I came across. Luck
Going
is
backwards.
the residue of design. Luck is the residue of design. Luck is the residue of design.
hip throw squat for the legs.
A lot of what we call luck, it has come about through something other than chance. I used to say, you're lucky to be born in America. And on one level that's true, which is like, you could have been born in the great pool, and you could have been born in Mogadishu. It'd go a lot worse. But there's also something it covers up, which is the luck is that people before you made good choices that meant that you are in a situation which is more optimal. And it's not simply luck
For
that
upper
you have in
body.
America the right to freedom of speech.
Arm drag.
Luck is
The
the
leg
residue
round for
of
the arms.
design.
The arm drag to set up hip throw.
Luck is the residue of design. It's the consequence of men and women making good decisions. Men and women making good decisions. Luck is the residue of design. Luck is the residue of design. We have to find a better way to understand what we often mean by luck. You have luck in your life, sometimes because other people have made good judgments that are effectively for you before your
For
time.
core, we're gonna do hip throw fold.
Politicians, your family and others. It's not just some wild wording game. It's also make prudent decisions, make wise decisions, work hard, and a lot more. And you'll find that you are what we call lucky or luckier. Don't do any of that stuff. Put everything off all the time. Be lazy, unmotivated, blame other people all the time for things that you can correct yourself, and you will find you are the type of person that is described as unlucky. Luck is
Full
the
body
residue
movement.
of design. Luck is the residue of design. It's the consequence of men and women making good decisions. Men and women
Ooh. Squats. I'm gonna do narrow squats this time. One arm push-ups.
To the extent that this technology is taught,
Core leg raises.
it's through apprenticeships, and that's why the best careers are the apprenticeship careers, because those are things society still has not figured out how to train and automate yet. The classic line here is that Warren Buffett went to Benjamin Graham when he got out of school, and Benjamin Graham was the author of The Intelligent Investor, sort of modernized or created value investing as a discipline. And Warren Buffett went to Benjamin Graham and offered to work for him for free. And Graham said, actually, you're overpriced. Free is overpriced. And Graham was absolutely right. When it comes to a very valuable apprenticeship, like the type that Graham was going to give Buffett, Buffett should have been paying him a lot of money. And that right there tells you that those are skills worth knowing. Specific knowledge also tends to be technical and creative. So on the bleeding edge of
We're gonna do a
technology,
J
the
crawl,
bleeding edge of art, on the bleeding
technical
edge of
stand-up.
communication. Even today, for example, there are probably meme lords out there on the internet who can create incredible memes that will spread the idea to millions of people. Incredible memes that will spread the idea to millions of people. Follow your own obsession. Follow your own obsession. Follow your own obsession. Follow your own obsession. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you can realize that, hey, actually, this obsession, I'll keep an eye out for the commercial aspects of it. But I think if you go around trying to build it a little too deliberately, if you become too goal-oriented on the money, then you won't pick
J
the
crawl,
right thing.
stand up without the hands.
You won't actually pick the thing that you love to do, so you won't go deep enough into it. But I think it's important that one not start assembling things too deliberately. Because you do want to pick things where you are a natural. Everyone is a natural at something. We're all familiar with that phrase, a natural. Oh, this person's a natural at meeting men or women. This person's a natural socialite. This person's a natural programmer. This person's a natural leader.
Great. Upper body.
So,
We're
whatever
gonna give
you
it
are
a
a
great
natural
job.
at,
We're gonna push up and sit
double
out.
down on that.
And we're gonna come back to that too.
There are probably multiple things you're natural at because personalities of humans are very complex. We want to be able to take the things that you are natural at and combine them so that you automatically, just through sheer interest and enjoyment, end up top 25 or top 10 or top 5% at a number of things.
And this sit out is for getting out from under people.
Follow your own
We're gonna do a hip bump sit up. Which do we do? Kimura or guillotine?
You want to double down on that. Follow your own obsession. Follow your own obsession. Whatever you are a natural at, you want to double down on that. Whatever you are a natural at, you want to double down on that. Follow your own obsession. Follow your own obsession. Whatever you are a natural at, you want to double down on that.
Ooh, for legs.
If you can keep your head
Gotta
when
kneel
all
down and
about
stand
you
back
are
up.
losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good or talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, meet triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. If you
We're
can
gonna do
bear to
regular
hear the
push-ups.
truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools.
We're gonna do an armbar sit up. So if I have an armbar,
Heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn.
I sit up,
Toss
far side armbar.
and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone. And so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on.
For the last round, we're gonna do wrestling stuff. Sprawl, takedown shot. Here you go, takedown.
Virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch. If neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And, which is more, you will be a man, my son.
Ooh. Push up. To me on belly. Come on, buddy. Far side armbar. one more exercise for the core. Let's see. We're gonna scoot sideways.
Akira. It's okay. 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 People say, man, you cuss all the fucking time. Why? Well, I hate to say it, the best way for me to get how I
And that's
feel
it.
across,
We're done for the
I
night.
can't sit and say, you know what, yeah, I went through hell weekend, man, it was really hard.
Do it again tomorrow.
That motherfucker takes your damn soul, rips it inside out, and then they say,
So drink water, recover,
"Going to fucking suck."
slow your breath, listen
It
to a song.
allows me to express where I was at a point of my life. I don't give you all of me. Why the hell am I here? How will you learn from me? People take so much offense to me. You will never learn from people if we always tap dance around the truth. We tap dance around the truth by finding the right words. I don't hurt you because you have thin skin. No. Tighten up, people. It's okay. Trust me. It's okay. You might be called one day. It's okay. Trust me. It's okay. It's okay. Trust me. It's okay. You might be called one day. It's okay. Trust me. It's okay. You might be called nigger one day. You might be called some Jewish word or some faggot or gay word. It's okay. Let them call you that. What are you going to do now? They don't own your life. How are you going to control that now? How are you going to flip it upside down and say, Roger that? Now I'm going to harness this shit and you'll read about me years from now. How? That's the question. How are you going to do that? Look in your skin. Become more human being. Don't be afraid of the reflection in the mirror. Because that's all you can be afraid of. Once you overcome the reflection in the mirror, you've done it. It's okay. Trust me. It's okay. You might be called one day. It's okay. Trust me. It's okay. It's okay. Trust me. It's okay. You might be called one day. It's okay. Trust me. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, that's it. We just did the daily routine of meditation, yoga, and martial arts in that order. We're just cooling down from the martial arts workout. And this is the basic format we're following, high intensity interval training. If you want to take a screenshot and try it, follow along, rewind the video, or play any of my live streams. They're always free. And it's 30 seconds to a minute of a full body, then legs, then upper body, then core. For the meditation, we do a meditation on the Buddha from traditional Tibetan Buddhism, led by the Buddhist nuns at Shravasti Abbey in Washington State. For the yoga, we do the Ashtanga Yoga primary series, but we do a short version for now. And so that way we can do in about 90 minutes to 2 hours the whole meditation, yoga, martial arts routine that anyone can do at home. If you have a space the size of a yoga mat, I have to clean out this room every day when I do the live stream, and I often live stream me cleaning the room just to show I have limited space. It's no excuse if you have limited space, you do the training. You do it at home, you just make room. Clean it out, sweep it, mop it, do the thing, mop it again, right? And in that way, you will be consistent and you will see progress, you'll get stronger, right? So I'm gonna put on another song and mop the floor in here real quick. And I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe and get your own daily routine going. Whether you follow along with mine or you do your own thing, you gotta have some kind of meditation, mental, spiritual practice. You gotta have some kind of stretching routine, whether it's yoga or Pilates or whatever, and you gotta have some kind of strength training, whether it's martial arts, weights, whatever you're into, swimming, biking, running, or all of that, a little bit of each thing. You gotta do it every day because your life depends on it. And I was just talking about my friend who, he had a college degree. I've known him for 10 years here in Tallahassee, and he just died the other day. He spent his entire life looking at a screen pushing buttons, and he got a degree, but he sacrificed his health, taking stimulants, drinking all the time, taking pills, and partying, and that's all he did. And he was real proud of his degree, but now he can't enjoy it. And all I do is martial arts, meditation, yoga every day, and I don't have a college degree, but I have my health, and I'm older than him. I'm 38 years old. I'm still alive, and I'm healthy, and I want to share that routine with you so you can be healthy and be able to tie your own shoes, dress yourself, bathe yourself when you are very old. So I'll shut up. I'll put on some more music, and I will play this song while I clean the floor. Drink water.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone. The good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, and we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much, feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness, gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and children, victims of a system that makes them torture and imprison innocent people. For those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators
back tomorrow. Please like, share, and subscribe.